Dealt with OCD, anxiety, and depression for almost my entire life. And you probably know me from making programming or coding YouTube videos, but I have a much different background compared to most programming YouTubers. So in this video, I'd like to share my experiences with depression and how coding helped me overcome this depression. So most people say, hey, you have depression, just get over it, stop feeling sad. But what most people don't know is that people with depression don't know they have depression. Typically, we feel sad, we feel dull, and we look at life through this lens that is angry, upset, and sort of worthless, that life is worthless. And again, that's what I experienced for almost my entire life. And although I had aspirations to do something with my life, I couldn't because of this outlook on life. I thought it was impossible. I didn't see the purpose. And every time I tried to do something, I would self sabotage myself in some way, shape, or form. I mean, I would literally wake up at like 10 a.m. in the morning, play video games, and then go to sleep at like 5 a.m. And don't even get me started with the COVID pandemic where it got much worse. And at the peak of my bad mental health, I couldn't really function at all. I was anxious 9 hours of the day. I'm not even kidding. Like almost the entire day when I was awake, I was thinking about the future, worried about the past and how that would impact me. And I was in this small bubble where I couldn't really do much things. I guess the best way to put it was you just don't feel like life means anything. You don't feel like there's a reason. Until one day I was hanging out with my friends and one of the programmers, he's a programmer in university, and he was talking about how I could learn code online through this thing called Codecademy. Now, this was significant for me because I always wanted to learn code, but because of my mental health and because of my sort of limiting beliefs around code, I thought it was impossible to learn. So I took up on his offer and I started learning code a little bit. And after a couple of trials and I quit many times, I found myself in this position where I was actually enjoying life for the first time. Now you're probably asking like how did code and how did actually coding and struggling with code improve your life and sort of get out of this little depression at the moment? Well, if you put yourself in my shoes and many people with depression, we don't see the purpose of life and we don't see the reason to live. And by having something to actually work toward and fight for, we give meaning to our lives, thus removing the depression. You see this with people at the gym, again, people learning skills or starting a business. It's quite common for these founders or in shape guys to come to the gym, overcome their depression because they're focusing on something and be better people because of it. And that's exactly what happened to me. As soon as I saw that slight improvement in my mental health and started seeing some discipline being built and truly becoming a man, I began to do it more and more and more. And eventually I found myself in this position where I actually knew how to code. I knew how to make basic websites for people, and I enjoyed my time actually building and learning because it was making me forget about all my problems. In some way, shape, or form, I actually like it was all gone. All the depression was just eventually gone out of nowhere, really. I don't even know exactly the time, but some way it all went away because I was focusing on this thing. And as humans, we tend to hyper focus and surround our lives and base our lives on the things we focus on. And I was depressed because I was focusing on those lack of purpose, the bad parts of life constantly. So I was obviously going to be depressed. But as soon as I started putting my time and effort and most importantly focus onto a pursuit that was worth a lot of money and meaningful to me, I began to feel better because I was focusing on that. And my whole life was shaped around this idea of learning code and putting my time into it. And in simple terms, the reason why I was able to overcome my depression through code was because it gave me meaning to my life. Humans need meaning. If we don't have meaning, we're gonna make up some sort of meaning. So when I was depressed, my meaning was the lack of meaning. All right. For code, though, when I shift my focus to it, it gave me a new meaning and purpose to fight for every day. So I hope you learned something from this video. And if you are depressed, please reach out. I know that mental health is an awful thing, and we should work to sort of less stigmatize it in at least coders and guys. Anyways, I hope you found this valuable, and if you do relate, I hope you're okay. Learn a skill. I'm telling you, though it doesn't make sense in the moment, and I know it's easier said than done, you will get out of this. You just have to find some sort of meaning in your life to overcome this. I was in that position. I freaking know that feeling. Okay, so I love you guys. Again, reach out if you need anything. All right, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.